Hey, if you're a loan officer and you want to know what does it take to actually stop being a realtor referral chaser and actually be sought after, I'll tell you what my friend Mark and Jerry told me last week, and it was one thing that I told them that really shifted everything. Hey, I'm Charlie Madison with Referrals While You Sleep, and this is Zach Hammer. And Zach, do you want to know the one thing that I told them that kind of shocked them?
I do. If possible though, what were they dealing with before? What was happening before you told them the one thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So they want to grow because they want to grow. Like they're successful. They've had a career for, I mean, Jerry's been in the business 25 years. Mark, I think 20. Like they
Right.
do really well. And I mean, every loan training tells you the same thing, right? Call 50 realtors this week, call them on Monday, invite them to coffee. On Friday, send them an email saying, hey, I'm working this weekend if you need a second opinion.
Right.
Um, Drop off donuts, offer to call their leads, just
Right.
chase, chase, chase. Uh, you know, here's your 12-week campaign. Week 4, send them a funny emoji and say, are you entertained yet? Because you know they're not going to respond, right?
Right. Right.
And so that's what they were doing, um, knowing that like this just feels really silly. I mean, you're not going to get good, successful agents that are happy responding to you. You might get one that's pissed off right now, at their current lender.
Right.
And so yeah, so that's you know, the, and I love both Mark and Jerry. They were thinking outside the box. I mean, they've done it all, right? They've
Right.
offered moving boxes to their clients. They've done events, rented out the theater,
Right.
done trainings. You name it, they've done it. And when I talked to them, I was like, "Hey, do you want to know why that doesn't work really well?"
And what they
And
say?
they were like, "Yeah, tell me, tell me." I was like,
Right.
"Here's the thing: realtors are avoiding you because you're not giving them anything that they want.
Right.
You're just taking attention from them. And you kind of know that subconsciously.
Right.
Um, like, I don't need to know that you're available this weekend. I don't need gift cards for the open house. Like, as a real estate
Right.
agents, they want two things. They want big, easy, consistent checks, and they want to go on vacation. And if you're a
Right.
loan officer right now, you probably know an agent that you're working with, and you're like, yeah, because they literally said, as soon as this check closes, then they're going to go to the beach, right? Like
Right.
that's, the average agent, the average good agent, right? Closes 25, 15 to 30 deals a year.
Right.
And so, like, each one of those, you're really kind of hanging by the thread. Like,
Right.
and you're always looking for your next business. Like, I don't want to think about coffee. Like, I just want checks and to go on vacation. So everything that you're sending to them, they're actually avoiding you right now.
Right. What's interesting to me is like some of those things, they're not even necessarily bad things to have at the ready to offer, right? Like if you're talking to a realtor partner and they're like, "Hey, I'm doing an open house this weekend," and you're like, "Hey, I got gift cards that can make your open house more successful." They'll be like, "That sounds great. I'd love to do that," right? Or if they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
like we just had a client ready to move," and you're like, "Hey, I got moving boxes." Like it's not like it doesn't add value, and it's not like it couldn't be helpful, but you're right, where it's just like if it's just a spray and pray, I'm just going to put all these things out there and hope that it's valuable to someone. It's not really the thing that they're hurting for. It's not really the thing that makes you stand out. It might in a good relationship, like or at the right time, be a great way to like deepen that relationship and whatnot. So it's not like they're useless, but yeah, when you're just sort of like, let me chase you with all these things that aren't necessarily what you want. I'm just hoping it makes sense that over time they're just going to be trained to say, yeah, right now I don't actually need any of that, so I'm just going to avoid you.
Right. I mean, you're training them to avoid you, number one, and then
Right.
give you their 425 credit score cousin that's got 3 bankruptcies. Like, and you know what? They're going to think, I'm a realtor. They're going to think they're doing you a favor because they're
Right.
like, I mean, he's giving me crappy gifts. I'll give him a crappy gift.
Right.
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 Like, yeah, I mean, if you can work some magic, here you go.
Right.
And and so the reason this came up is, when I talked to Mark, I was like, "What's your magic wand scenario?" He's like, "Charlie, if I could just have 10 realtors that I enjoy, that I could help do 10 deals a year, and I work
Right.
my sphere of influence, I would be happy as a like pig in mud, right?"
Right. Right.
And so that's the idea. I was like, well, to be able to do that, you need to know why they're avoiding you right now.
Right. Right.
And it's because it's like you're giving them things that they don't care about.
Right.
And part of it is because, like it's not their fault. Every training is, get a list of realtors, phone call, you know, pray and spray and, offer. I mean, they're basically offering tchotchkes, right?
Right. Right.
Um, which, makes sense because RESPA, does make it kind of tough. It's why,
Right.
you give training, why you give time. Um, and, um, but the thing is, if you can give realtors what they really want,
Right.
and it's not a spray and pray, and you're very specific, you can actually get really, really good realtor relationships.
Right.
And what they want are big, easy, consistent closings.
Right.
And you know, my through my system, like what you need is time, and you need to figure them out. But the shift, the identity shift, is to go from that idea of I'm going to pray and spray and just send offers, and realtors are going to come, realtors are going to go, to, I love what Dan Sullivan says, who do you want to be a hero to?
Right.
And I was talking to a lender today, and he's been in the business 35 years. He's like, that's it. Like, I want a group of realtors I enjoy. He's like, I'm a runner. Like, there's thousands of realtors. I, and I can he's with a bank, so he can serve anywhere. He said, man, I could just find a group of like 10 runners. Like, because we enjoy, like we've got the same things.
Right.
And like, and so who do you want to be a hero to? And how do you really, like, what can you do to actually help them get where they want to be in business
Right.
and in life?
Right. Right. Yeah, I love that. I love that. So I mean, the what's interesting, I mean, you and I have talked about this idea before. Everything works, right? Like sure, if you do enough of the hounding people with the gift cards and the moving boxes and the corny emojis and all that, like you will find some deals. You'll be really busy to find those deals. Most of those deals are not going to be the kind of deals that you want. And but like you'll be active, you'll get some results, and if you do it long enough, you will build at least some of the relationships that are actually what you want. It's the slow lane to do it, right?
Right.
It's the process that feels painful in the process. You do it long enough, you'll end up getting there. But what I love about what you do is you figured out like, well, hey, why don't we shortcut it and just start by going after the people we actually want to work with and actually giving them something that they actually want. So, uh, ta- can you talk more about that? Like, what actually makes the difference? So, conceptually, we've talked about, hey, we got to give them what they actually want. How do we do that? How do we get them what they actually want of the easy big deals to close? How do we do that?
Yeah. So the big easy deals are from the realtor sphere of influence.
Right,
And it's cool to, like, the lenders can, like, as all my lenders give a realtor and say, hey, look, I would like to interview you, um, and
right,
record it, and I'll share it with my sphere of influence, and you can also share it with your sphere of influence.
right,
And my team, which is me, will create this as social content for you.
right,
And um, then one of the cool things is they get a playbook so they can utilize it effective, or they get a 90-day coupon. So I do my whole process for them for free. So the video turns into content to their sphere of influence that creates top of mind awareness and authority. And the only thing it takes is a 30-minute conversation
Right.
every other week.
Yeah. So part of what I love about this is like there's multiple facets of this that are really powerful. So the first part is that they inherently understand that them getting exposed to your audience is good for them, right? They understand that them getting the opportunity to get in front of your audience is likely going to help them, is likely going to get them further, right? So they're typically interested in that regardless of anything else. Over time, they may or may not be already aware of how much opportunity is in their sphere that they're not taking advantage of. Because I can guarantee you, unless they're doing what Charlie does already, they are not fully maximizing the opportunities from their sphere of influence, and those will be their best deals. They'll be the people that trust them, that are easy to work with. Very often, they're the highest caliber deals too. Now, some of that might depend on the nature of their sphere, but for any successful agent, their sphere is going to be a some of the best deals, right? Like the people who
Right.
actually have big properties to sell that they're valuable. And so, like, part of what's interesting about this is like you have that first level of it's really easy for them to understand this basic offer of, hey, come on, record content with me. I'm going to promote it to my audience. They're like,
Right.
okay, cool. They hear that as what they think they really need, which is getting in front of new audience, right? What you're really going to do, though, is you're going to help them with the thing that they don't even realize that they need, which is getting in front of their own audience, right? Getting in front of their own sphere of influence and helping them get deals from that. And that's really, you lead with what they want. What they want is they think, I need to get in front of new people. And you get the opportunity to give them what they really need, which is they're going to get in front of their own people and see you as part of the process that makes that easy, that makes that feel easy, that makes that fun. And you do that with enough of the right people, that relationship naturally comes about, and those deals naturally come to you, right? Like that's
Yeah.
essentially the name of the game, right?
Yeah. Like I've got my friend Mark. He's got a realtor partner, and he was doing this with his realtor partner. His realtor partner said, "I'm looking for a way to send him a referral because I'm grateful for what he's doing for me." And it was a 30-minute call every other week. So imagine this. A realtor is looking forward to hopping on a Zoom call with you, and of course,
Right,
you chat a little, and because you're actually helping them, and
right,
the smart realtors are going to understand that it's helpful. When we first did this, we were shocked that not all realtors see this as valuable. And,
right,
we call it the realtor filter, or,
right,
as Alex Hormozy says, create an offer so good, people feel dumb saying no. Well, they may not realize it, but,
right,
it's a good offer. And that's so much better than like what the traditional way. You chase someone for 18 months, and only after 18 months, when you work with two of their clients, you realize, oh, this ain't someone I want to work with. I don't want to work with them.
right.
Here you find out quick.
You probably won't describe it this way because you're too kind-hearted, but I would say the other thing that you could call this is the intelligence test. How intelligent is the agent on the other end? Because if they're smart, they understand the value. If they're not, they will probably bounce out.
Right.
Right? Like that.
Right.
That's the reality of this. So you could give it a call it the IQ test. Be able to see where they're sitting, and the right ones will filter through and be the right people to work with, and the wrong ones will filter out. You touched on this briefly, but I really love the idea of this being really clear to people. So we've established, like, hey, first off, the reason why you're having to chase people is because of what you're bringing to the table. You're bringing things that they don't want, right? So we actually lead with what they want. What they want are deals, their best deals, right? But really,
Right.
even before that, they think they want to get in front of new audiences. They think they want new leads. And so you offering an interview that gets them in front of your audience makes them feel like that sort of at the baseline. Over time and through those conversations, I think that's part of where you help them to realize, hey, really, some of your best opportunities are just in front of your own audience. And they may already have that inclination, but that might be something that's sort of they discover the power of that. Because and there are some discussions that help with this around seeing the math of what actually works in terms of ninja selling and some of how those numbers work, of understanding for every 100 people you have in your database, there's approximately 15 deals there, right? So they're every year. So when they look at their database, if they see more than 100 people, they're like, oh, like there's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 potential deals that if I just got in front of these people consistently, those deals would be mine, right? So like they come to understand that. Really, here's the problem that people are left with. You mentioned a bit about how this is solved. Say somebody loves this idea. They're like, man, this is great, but I understand showing up on the interview. Maybe they have some inclination of what that would sound like. Maybe they don't. But really all this other end of actually doing this part of processing those videos, getting them out to everywhere, making sure that they show up in front of the right people at the right time, and having that process not feel like they need to, go and study at MIT to learn all of the technical processes for this, or go and get a marketing degree to understand how to get it distributed out. Like what that's the problem that people are going to be facing when they look at this. They love this idea, but you've made that process really easy, right? So what does it look like to make it easy for them?
Yeah, that's the problem. Like if you don't do the distribution, the value is not there. It's just a Zoom call. Like a Zoom call doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And luckily, I'm a programmer. I was the lead programmer for my own marketing company for 13 years. Of course, I'm a residential real estate agent with my own team. I built this for myself, so I know it works. I make about $250,000 a year, work 10 hours a week in my real estate practice. And, I just happen to be in a mastermind with some of the top realtors and lenders over the last decade in North America. And so, I asked Mark, I was like, that's what's your dream scenario? And you hit the nail on the head. What's cool is always like, all right, you have the conversation. How do we actually handle the distribution without having to hire a team member or an agency or, $1,500 for this? And so I built a program that literally the lender hops on the Zoom, hits record. When they're done, they upload it to me, and everything else is handled for both him and the realtor.
Love it. And the power of how you set this up too. I know you briefly mentioned this, but you don't charge people up front for this. You have a great way for everybody to experience the value of this. That's the whole thing. It's really important to you. I've seen in practice that you only want to work with people that really feel the value of what you're doing, right? And let's be honest here. Sometimes people don't know whether they find it valuable enough unless they've experienced it, right? Like that's the case with most things. There's a reason why when you're going to get a car, most of us do a test drive, right? There's a reason, there's a reason why you like to try things out first. And honestly, for some products, there's a reason why, like, it's good that they have a return policy, because you might get it and realize, this isn't actually a good fit for what I need, or it doesn't actually do what I want to, right? And it's just always best if you only ever pay for the things that you really value. And so that's what you set up. You set up a way that people can really experience, is this a good fit for me? Is this something that I find valuable? And it's really designed to be an incredibly generous test drive of your product to see if it's a good fit for them, right?
Yeah. And my coaches say I'm crazy for giving the test drive. And but at the end of the day, like, I'm sure I could double the price and hire a salesperson. But like, this runs my real estate practice. I don't have to do this myself. Like I've got the best real estate practice in the world. That's one of the things, like, most real estate coaches, that was their exit plan. Like, I use this every day. Like, it works great. Who do I want to be a hero to? I love helping lenders because I believe a lender realtor partnership, like it's one of those 1 + 1 = 11 things,
Right.
And so yeah, I could hire a sales team and I could do all this, or I could just let the right people try it. And what's cool? I started this with 4 lenders in 2020, and I
Right.
said, "Hey, I'm going to give it to you for 90 days. After the 90 days, if you like it, you pay for me." And
Right.
all 4 of them are still with me, And so,
Right.
the lenders that get it stay for life because you can do this with as many realtors as you want, and it doesn't cost you anymore. They have to pay for it, and I don't care whether they do or not. The goal is to get you the relationship,
Right.
which it's kind of mind blowing. But here's my view. My view is my number one goal is for you as a lender is to grow your business without sacrificing your life.
Right.
And the transformation that you need as a lender is to really want to grow the realtor's business without them sacrificing their life.
Right.
And so, I'm leading the way. I'm doing it,
Right.
and I only want to work with lenders that are cool. I've had lenders get in, and I said, "Hey, this ain't the right program for you. Like, we just don't jive."
Right.
And so that's why it's by application only. That's the reason I don't want your money until I want to see if we like each other. And that's
Right.
the same thing you do with your realtors with that conversation. You're like, hey, let's see if we like each other. Let's see if I,
Right.
can grow your business. One of the things we talk about is, once you've done a couple of these, you can have a deep dive with the realtor, and
Right.
it's a really great consulting method to find out what is it that, like, what do they want in life? What do they want in business? There's actually, and then how do you help them get it, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and
And man, I could say, not only have I obviously seen it in our friendship and what I get to hear about for how you get to live your life as a result of what you figured out with this. But man, just this last week, I got to hear from your wife of the difference that it was making for her too, and that was really cool to hear. That if somebody's considering potentially doing this, man, I'll tell you what. Not only is it impacting Charlie's life of him getting to live the life that he wants, but a big part of what matters to Charlie is the life that he's creating for his family. And man, I could hear from his wife. We were on a call this last week, and she was on it, kind of substituting for him in a normal mastermind meeting. And man, it was so cool to hear that she was like, I get to stay at home with my kids. I get to homeschool my kids, and we get to go on these great vacations every year, all because of this tool that Charlie set up. And what she said that stood out to me too is she was like, we just want more people to get to do this too, right? We want to help more people to be able to experience this, and it's such a great fit for lenders that, yeah, not only do you get to get that benefit too, where you get to do the things that you want to, work with great people, get to go on great vacations, live whatever that perfect life that it looks like for you. You get to do that more readily by leveraging something like this, but you're also giving that gift to the realtors that you work with as well. And shoot, getting to use it in the process of attracting the best realtors that are going to send you the best business, then everything just gets better. So anyway, getting to hear your wife's story of that, I thought was super impactful to me. I thought it was really cool to hear it from somebody else, and get to see the power of what you're doing and how it's impacting, not only your family, but knowing that that's exactly the kind of difference that it's making for your clients as well too. So I highly encourage people, call Charlie's bluff, uh, sign up, sign up to test this out, do a test run, see the difference that it'll make. Because here's the reality: he doesn't need you to, right? He doesn't need it to happen. He'll be perfectly fine if you don't. He set this up because he's seeing the difference that it makes, and he set it up so that essentially he has a sales process that's exactly what he would want to, right? Where you get to actually try it out, you get to experience it. You only move forward if you think it's a good fit. So there isn't a risk other than, well, there is a risk. There's a risk of, if you don't do it, the risk is that you'll continue to work with people that you don't like working with, working the worst deals possible, doing marketing methods that make you feel like you need to take a shower, right? That's the risk. The risk is that you do that instead of trying this out and seeing seeing if you could do something else. So yeah, I highly encourage you. Go to referralswhileyouSleep.com and there's a link to join a waiting list there, right? To potentially get on your calendar to see if it's a good fit, to see if there's opportunity. I know you don't take everybody. You aren't able to onboard an infinite number of people each month. So there is often a waiting list in order to even get involved in the program. So I recommend people sign up sooner rather than later to get the opportunity to get in. And I forget it, but is there anything else that I'm missing that people need to know for why they need to sign up right now?
There's realtors that you would love working with that need you. They're not going to do this without you. And like, this is a proven system to like get them chasing you. And it's amazing to have a waiting list of realtors. And it works. It's been 6 years in the making, and I'd love to help you if this sounds like something that you would like. You want to help 10 realtors. That's the shift. Like, if you don't want to help them, if you want to be transactional, not a good fit for you. But if you love the thought of, Mark's about to go on a whitewater raft trip with 10 of his favorite people that are realtors they do business with in the middle of the week, and their clients are going to wait on them because they work with clients that love them. And if you want to do that, reach out. Thanks, Zach.
You got it.
All right. See you guys.